Okay, we're just going to give it a few more minutes for a couple people to pour in. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. If you are in a place where you can show Lisa your audio connected, hey. If you're in a place where you can show your face, I would love to see it. If not, totally get it. I've been on so many calls where I have been like listening and breastfeeding, and I don't want a boob to pop out on anybody. So I totally get it if you're trying to avoid flashing or whatever. And I apologize, my voice. We are all coming down from a sinus infection. So thank goodness, though, we could take an antibiotic and be good. But I might need to sip some water as we get going. Okay, yeah, Eastern. Okay, yeah, so it's a lot later there, and I'm usually in bed by 8 p.m. So I'll make sure you too. I'll make sure that we get started, and whoever has to catch the recording, totally fine. Everybody here is on the East Coast. Just done with your workout. Nice. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody can see me, everybody can hear. If you want to, okay, Lily, you good to go? I know you're taking care of some stuff. You're typing.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, let's do this. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. I usually have a bajillion tabs open because I can do it. I swear I can do a bajillion things at once. That's hashtag mom life, right? Okay. View. Slideshow. Okay, can you guys see my slideshow, my screen? Okay, hello guys. I am so excited to be doing this Push Elite workshop with everybody, doing some training. You're going to walk away with some really cool tools so that you can use these things to start inviting and seeing a higher conversion rate in your invites. And you're going to walk away feeling relieved. My goal is for you to walk away feeling like you can 10x your business and start to scale by actually doing a little bit less and taking yourself out of constant business mode and being able to connect deeper with your family. And that is going to create some massive energy that I call catalytic energy for your business as well. So we are going to be talking about being elite now, having that CEO mindset and energy. And my personally sponsored coach, Kim Fitzpatrick, has this beautiful saying, which is be her now. And we're going to talk about being elite now so that we can manifest that in 2023. So I'm really excited to share this with you. Okay, if for whatever reason you cannot see my screen or like things get weird, please let me know. Like if I don't see it in the chat, why isn't my chat up? That's okay. If I don't see it in the chat, just unmute yourself and let me know. And I'll fix that. Okay, so hi guys. This is me. I am Kira. You pronounce it Kira Miranda. I am the founder of Empire Rewire and More Energy, Less BS, which is this program that I started doing with my clients that have gotten them insane results. This picture here is me using these same concepts and got insane results for myself. At this point, I was like trying to decide if I wanted to do bodybuilding. It was awesome. So I am a body coach. I'm also a life coach, but I specialize in business performance and marketing. I got a bachelor's degree in health promotion education from the University of Utah. I got a minor in coaching and a minor in nutrition. I'm just that person that loves school. I love education and I love formal education. What's crazy though is when I partnered with Body and started doing those trainings, I actually learned so much more about business than you see. I have my master's in business. And in the 626 course that Josh does, that 6 months to six figure, I learned more useful marketing in that program than I did in my master's. I did learn a lot in my master's, so that shows you just how much these informal courses can be. I was a health teacher for 7 years, and in 2019, I was able to go part-time. So I started out the 2019-2020 school year as a part-time teacher. My body coaching business is what allowed me to afford to do that. And my husband was still in school, so it was like this huge blessing. and this is going to sound so weird, let's see, it was December. So it was right before COVID-19 came to the United States, or at least before we were aware it was in the United States. And in that time, I just had this crazy feeling that we needed me to leave and be home with the kids. Can you guys see the chat box in my screen, or do you just see the PowerPoint? The PowerPoint, okay. So we have this really strange feeling like this is time for me to leave. Other things happened with childcare, and I realized I was losing money being in the classroom. I'm like, this is time I could be working with clients. This is time I could be scaling my business. So I left my job. I gave my notice the first day back from Christmas break, and it's like unheard of for teachers to break their contract. Are there any teachers in here? No teachers? Okay, that's okay. So it's unheard of for teachers to break their contract, but my boss was insanely supportive. It was crazy. The stars just kind of lined up, and it was one of those things where it's like the universe kind of rewards you when you're on the right path and when you're listening to that intuition and what the universe is trying to say to you. And it was like I was home for maybe a month when schools shut down. So in my head, I'm like, holy crap, how could I run my business, teach my kids? I had 3 kids in school, and I was pregnant, and teach my caseload of students, my workload of students. Like, it was just crazy. So I have been greatly blessed when it comes to this business. I'm very, very passionate about what I do. So this workshop is because I created this course in this workshop that I'm going to be talking about my course in a minute, because I noticed that a lot of my team, my coaches, and even myself would get to a point where I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I could not get myself to take action. And this is one reason why I actually turned to a life coach and ended up in life coaching school. And I'm going to teach you some of the things that we learned to help you take action. Is there anybody in this group that you're like, I know exactly what I need to do, I just cannot seem to get myself to do the thing? Or it's like, okay, I need to go on and do a power hour, but all of a sudden I notice that all this laundry needs to be done, or other things. And so it's not like you're just not doing the business and watching TV. Often it's just like your brain kind of sabotages you into thinking something else is important, because you're like, that's something I know I can get done and have those results, the return on investment. I do the laundry and it's done, right? And so with this life coaching, the skills we're going to talk about today, you're going to be able to take some freaking massive action. I'm so excited about it. Oh, and don't forget, I am doing a giveaway. I'm going to be giving away 2 things. I'm going to be giving away a gift card, and then we are also going to be giving away a call to a one-on-one call, an extra one-on-one call, or you can have that be a one-on-one call with one of your coaches on your team. So I really should start by asking couple questions. Number 1, what rank are you gunning for in 2023? I'm just like suddenly aware of how loud my breathing is, so still a little congested. I'm sorry, guys. What rank? Or is anybody like pushing for elite, 5-star, elite coach? Love it, diamond. Okay. Lisa, you're in my group right now. You're gonna hit diamond way, way earlier than you're thinking. So we're talking like Lisa, at least business leader, right? 2-star diamond. Diamond and above, love it. Okay. Guys, I love all of this. And so when I'm talking about elite, I don't want you to think that this doesn't apply to you. This absolutely applies to you. When I remember when I was just a baby diamond coach, thinking like, my coach, Jamie Fitzpatrick, is actually my sponsor coach. Kim's kind of like more of the involved working with the coaches kind of thing. So when they were telling me like, hey, start looking at your puke goals. If elite feels like it's way too out of the range, go for it, because that's exciting. And here's the thing is, if I fall short of elite and hit premier, that's a dope income, right? Like 2-star diamond income is elite and you're on the floor at Summit, totally worth it. So if you have not been coaching long, just kind of like bear with me. But I want you to think about your goal. And if this isn't your first time searching for this goal, I want you to think, how long have you been working towards this goal? So for me, elite, before I was like actually a contender for elite, I was coaching for 3 years, 4 years. And that felt like such a long time because I wanted it for so long, got to a point where I'm like, is this even possible for me? And then I want you to think, oh, I have this on direct. I want this to be on everyone in case yeah, okay. If your business kept growing in that same rate, how many years would it take for you to hit elite? I want you to think about that. So for me, another 3 years, and maybe that doesn't feel like very long for some people, because it's, some people 5 years for elite, 10 years for elite. For me, 3 years isn't enough. And like, I have that formal education, that master's degree, the life coaching. For me, it just is not exciting enough to keep me moving. So I'm like, we're going to expedite the crap out of this. Okay. Oh, I mentioned my perspective is a little different. So I want that return on investment a little bit sooner. And it does take time. Okay. I'm not going to say that we can just magically be elite. It does take time, but there's things that we can do to be her now and manifest that sooner. So we can do that this year. I do believe 100% with all my heart that everybody in this group, if you're putting in the time and if you're doing things in a way that's effective, we're going to talk about that, you can 100% do elite this year, this 2020. You're not going to hit elite in a month. Okay. In a year, you can do it. Let's talk about that. So experts have said, and before, I should preface this with, experts are going to give you advice because they're there. They've done it, right? And you want to listen to that. But there's some tag-alongs with that. So I'm going to talk about mindset and how experts say you just need to change your mindset. I am not discounting how important mindset is. You're going to hear me talk about CEO mindset and manifesting her by being her now. But experts have told us, bear with me, just keep showing up. Send tons and tons of invites, right? It's a numbers game. There's truth to that. Let's talk about it. Go for no. Totally get that. I do like it when people tell me no, because then I could start figuring out why and get to their limiting beliefs. But if you're just going for no, like, that's not very sustainable, especially for baby coaches that need a quick. I like to get my new coaches a quick win, and we'll talk about that. Follow up forever, even if they say no. I said no 6 times before I was willing to coach, but it was to 6 different people. If somebody like verbally says no to me once, I'm not going to message them again. So we'll talk about that. And that's one reason why we'll get into that. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's just so much information I'm excited to share with you. I'm getting ahead of myself. Keep adding more value. How much value are you giving away? Just hit diamond. Once you hit diamond, it's all uphill from there. And I can't tell you how many coaches I've had that have gotten to diamond and have just dropped off because there was a disconnect there, and we'll talk about that as well. I've heard leadership say, just hit diamond, do what it takes, plug people here, plug people there. And at that point, you're spending so much more than you're making, and that's not sustainable. Talk on your stories every day about your Netflix of workouts and superfoods. I'm going to tell you a truth bomb that might be hard to hear, but people don't really care about our superfood right now. They want to know what we're doing, but people don't care until they know how much you care. People are not interested until you know how much you care. So we'll talk about that as well. And then this often shouldn't be a bullet point, but these things often lead with desperation. And there are some experts on social media that tell you that you have to post every single day, and it's better if you post like 3 times a day. Okay, so unless you're like me, I see some head shaking, and I'm with you on that, right? Unless you're like me, who this is my job, that's not really possible. But honestly, even now, I don't do that. I don't post 3 times a day. And I've actually noticed that I am not quite as active on posting in my social media, and I'm more intentional about it. And I've had so much more traction. So we'll talk about that. So Experts will tell you in order to become a successful coach, you must change your mindset. There is truth to that, but it's not the full truth, okay? You must be consistent and trust in the compound effect. Is that the wrong effect? I think I have the wrong effect in there. Ignore that if that's the wrong one. You must be consistent and trust the compound effect. Okay, there is truth to that. However, if your messaging isn't right, and your energy isn't right, we're going to be compounding the wrong effect that we don't want to. And that's often one way that you know that you're compounding the wrong effect is if you're putting up polls in your stories and nobody clicks on them. That means that there's some kind of mistrust there. We've got to start building a bridge to belief. And actually that was one of the next things I was going to talk about. Josh Coates. Has anybody in here worked with Josh Coates? You've worked with, oh, awesome. Are you in any of his programs? Yeah, which one did you do a 626? Sorry, I'm like, open up your chat and talk to me. You can even just unmute yourself if it's easier. But you've probably heard him talk about the belief bridge, right? That's like his bread and butter, amazing stuff. One-on-ones. Oh, awesome. Okay. So Josh, I'm actually in his leader. I'm so honored to be invited into his leader circle. So I'm working pretty closely with him and some other leaders and Mark Hildebrand. And it's just been so freaking awesome. So he talks about the belief bridge, and I'm going to bring that up a little bit. Okay. So the truth is, in the time that you have been working, if it's been a long time, if it's been years and you haven't hit the goals, I want you to like give yourself a little bit of relief, because it's not entirely your fault that you haven't hit those goals. What if, I want you to think, what if your mindset and fire wasn't the problem? Like, I would bet the farm that everybody in here has read at least a dozen personal development books and courses and done tons of different things. And we're going to talk about that technique. So for me, I was spending so much time inviting so many people, and I'm like, I'm going to 10x my business. So I 10x the amount of people I've talked to. I hired a virtual assistant. She was helping me talk to more. And I'm like, we were going at it, and I still wasn't hitting the results. And what I realized was my technique was so far off. That was burning me out. And I was hitting great ranks. I was getting paid, but it wasn't sustainable. And I didn't want to go to my team and be like, hey, do these things that are going to burn yourself out. Because the whole reason why we partner with Body is so that we can be connected with ourselves and have clarity and actually enjoy our work, right? So in the core of life coaching, we teach this concept that you already have everything inside of you that you need to create the reality that you want. You have everything inside of you to live the most magnificent life. So as a life coach and as a mentor, my job is to help you access that. So your superpower comes from you being you, not other coaches. So the number one thing as far as technique that I see that coaches struggle with is they're doing what other coaches are doing. They're posting what other coaches are posting. They are following so many coaches that you're kind of losing yourself and your voice. And at what point are you going to stand out from other coaches? And that's what makes it so hard. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do what other coaches are doing. We have leadership that have done some amazing things, and they are just absolutely amazing. Obviously, I adore Kim Fitzpatrick. She's like my first person on there that you saw a picture of. But you got to be you, and you've got to let your voice shine. So let's take a breath, breathe out that guilt. Don't let it come forward with you. And let's talk a little bit about mindset. Now that I'm like, mindset isn't everything. Mindset is the foundation. So it's like if you're building a house, it's the foundation for the house, the infrastructure. Now let's complete it with some technique that's going to help you. Okay. But if nothing changes, what changes? I just had to throw this in here, right? If nothing changes, what changes? So I want to tell you a story. And this is kind of like going into mindset a little bit. I want to tell you the story about my kiddo. So he comes home from school and he was just so frustrated. and he was struggling, and he's like, Mom, and you may have seen this in my email today, right? So he's like, Mom, I'm so stupid. I'm never going to get this. And I was working with him on his math. And I was kind of getting frustrated with him because I was trying to show him how to do it. And he was just like, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. And I'm like, Kaiden, if you don't start listening and opening your mind and start thinking different, you're never going to even listen to me to get the concept of how to do it. However, if I didn't actually teach him how to do it, if I was just like, just keep showing up, just keep trying, like it's not going to click. It's not going to do anything for him. It's like, you can have the best mindset in the world, but if you don't understand A plus B equals C, it's not going to do anything for you, right? So if I'm like, just keep showing up, just keep having the right mindset, it's not going to do anything. So a coach that sends 100 invites a day just to get ghosted by 99, great, that's like 2 Success Club points. But if we're showing up every day and our messages and our conversion rate is higher, if we're changing our technique and the way that we're approaching things, it's going to be so much better. So you can see how having mindset and having a great technique is going to be tenfold for you. It's going to help you 10x your business. Has anybody read 10x by Grant Cardone? Oh, it's so freaking good. It's so good. I love it. Okay. So what if you could have a higher conversion rate by sending less invites? So I'm not even joking. I went from sending 100 invites a day and working so hard to hit Success Club 10, and I would barely hit Success Club 10 on the freaking 30th of the month. And if there was only 28 days of the month I didn't hit Success Club 10, so I got to a point where I was sending 5 invites a day to my freemium, 5 invites a day to my business, and then 5 follow-ups. So I was sending 15 invites a day, hitting Success Club 10 by the 5th of the month. Game changer. And this is what Josh taught me. Okay. So I did his 626 marketing program, and he taught this belief bridge. So obviously you want to make sure all copyrights go to him. This is he's just the bee's knees. I adore him and his energy. I'm a big energy person, and I'm drawn to people like him who just oh, I love it. Okay. So Josh put this up and it just clicked for me. He's like, okay, here's the thing and I was totally guilty of this. As a Beachbody coach, I'd come to people and be like, hey, you need this thing. This is what I have. I got these resources for you. You got to do this. I really should have muted that so you didn't have to hear that. And it works sometime because I have energy and I have results and I shared enough. I played the numbers game. I was getting results with it in my business. I was helping people get results too. But really, I was expecting people. So you have what they want. This is our client, our potential lead or client, and then our program's on the other side. So we're expecting them to just trust us to jump over the gap and get to us and possibly leave them to he did an alligator. I would have done a shark. I'm terrified of sharks. But that's kind of what we're doing, what we expect when we just cold invite or just go to somebody's message and be like, hey, do this program with me. So with Josh's concept, and we're going to kind of talk about that. One of the things that I like to do to build this bridge is offer a freemium. And this has been huge for me. This has been huge because not only that is I'm building some trust with them and I'm collecting an email. So I can now start emailing and build a bridge of belief so that they can start to believe not just in me and my product, but also in themselves. Because what's going to happen is when we're building this bridge, oh, I don't have the picture, dang it. When we're building the bridge, we are attacking their limiting beliefs. And I'm going to talk about this later. But when somebody tells you that they don't have time, and when somebody tells you that they don't have money, that's actually not the truth, but they believe it. People genuinely believe. How many times, or you can even just show me by raise of hands, have you ever talked to somebody that's been like, oh, I don't have time? And in the back of your mind, you're like, you 100% do have time. Right? So their brain is trying to protect them, and there's something in there that we need to attack and help them. And sometimes we just chip away at each limiting belief. So by building that belief bridge, one post might be about, this is how I save time. Or one post might be about, look at how much money you save on my plan. Because you can bet your butt if you're using our meal plans, if you're using our Shakeology, If you're using our products, you're going to be saving a lot of money and you're saving time. So you can kind of start chipping away at those limiting beliefs, but we don't know what those limiting beliefs are until I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Now I'm going to share the 3 things that you need to do to start changing your structure. So mindset, so important. And I have a course on that. But as far as technique, these 3 things, this is how you fix that technique, right? So you're over here, your goal of elite of 2023 is over here. And then in between, I just kind of have this little thing. I want everybody to understand that people are going to join those that they know, like, and trust. And so how we do that, and I love Josh's image of building a belief bridge. That's how we do that. And we do that through posts, we do that through content and talking to people, freemiums, those kind of things. So these 3 things are the debrief coach or debriefing, the catalytic coach, and then the lead magnet duplication. So that's when I say, be her now. I love that Kim uses that because we can be elite now. We can act like the debrief coach. We can be the catalytic coach. We can be a lead magnet that is duplicatable and manifest her now. And doing that consistently is going to lead to elite. So not just a road to elite, but a freaking highway. So if you spent the next 4 months with me, you would develop a duplicatable system so that your team won't have the experience of having to do those 99 ghosted messages just to get one and get really excited just about one. And these 3 pillars or these 3 pieces are how we're going to manifest her. And some people are actually doing a lot of these things, but it's just putting those together and knowing how to do those things. So we don't have time, obviously, to talk about all 4 of them because it's 4 months of really processing them, but I'm going to kind of just give you like a little gist of them. So piece number 1, the debriefing coach. Let's see, I think her name, I don't know how to say her name, so if I butcher it, Kasha Fitzgerald talks about the debrief coaching, but she uses it a little differently, and the verbiage that she uses is a little different. So when you use debrief coaching, you're going to be able to know exactly what your clients want, so you can offer that. Like, it is so freaking powerful to be able to come back to your client or your lead and use their exact verbiage, because they're going to be like, are you reading my mind? What are these like Jedi mind tricks that you're doing? And that's going to go a long way, because first, they're going to feel heard. They're going to feel like you know what they want. And that's just such a great way to build that trust and that belief, right? You're going to help clients overcome limiting beliefs by learning more about them. You're going to position yourself as the expert leader and set yourself apart from other coaches, because you are coming at them to serve them instead of just to give them stuff. And it feels very, very different for clients. And then change conversations so that they are no longer transactional and they're more transformative. And that is how you're going to build that belief and that trust, because it comes from a place of, instead of urgency, it comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of, I got you, girl, kind of a thing. Okay, so piece number 2 is the catalytic coach. So as a catalytic coach, you are going to create alignment so that you can check out. And here's the cool thing, is when you check out and you're fully present in your family, when you actually come back to your business, you're going to feel so much more excited, so much more energized, and that energy is going to come into your messages. 2 of my mentors have both said this, actually 3 of them have both said this. You've probably heard this many times, but for some reason it took these 3 people I admire most for it to really click. So Brad Bizjack is a mentor I've worked with, Josh Coates and Mark Hildebrand, and they each have said, the right message with the wrong energy doesn't stick. The wrong energy with the wrong message doesn't click. The right energy with the right message is going to do everything. And so that's why I wanted to make sure that we are focusing on alignment and understanding that alignment, taking the time to realign, is going to be like a catalyst in your business. So creating alignment so you can check out, be with your family, and then when you're in your business, be fully in your business. So with this, as a catalytic coach, you are going to feel bonded to your values. That's going to create synergism, and that's going to be something that's duplicatable for your team. It's going to give them permission to show up in a way that's sustainable. It's going to give them permission to check out when they need to check out. And it's going to help you take consistent action by spending more time in your heart space. We're going to talk about the difference between headspace and heart space and create an energy that snowballs in that momentum. And then once that momentum, the hard part is to get that ball rolling. Once you get it rolling, it is so beautiful. If you haven't experienced this in your business, it is such an incredible feeling. And it's almost like I can breathe, right? I can take a step back and my income is going to keep rolling in. As a catalytic coach, you're going to be able to recover. You're going to be able to trust that you can check out, and that is going to be huge in preventing burnout, so that you're not just building an income and a team seasonally. Oh, and you're going to learn how to create and lean into automations and lead nurturing. So if you see the term automation and if you see the term lead nurturing and you get overwhelmed, it is so much more simple than you think. So an automation, for example, you have access to an automation in your back office. So if you go to your back office, you click on see all of your customers, just a few clicks, you can send one email to all of your customers. That's an example of an automation, right? Being able to do one thing, do one action that does a bunch of other things. That's just one example of automation. Lead nurturing is if you have a cold market and you're warming them up, getting to know them. And most importantly, if you're collecting those emails, you can start to build that trust. That's an example of lead nurturing. Okay. If you do not, so again, 4 months worth of stuff in one night. So I can only kind of really talk about one. So I'm going to mention debrief coaching because I think that this is the one that you can walk away today and actually like start using in your business today and with your team. So if you don't learn the art of debrief coaching, you're going to end up being that coach that just posts and prays that something sticks or that you move somebody or that you're going to happen to hit somebody the right time in the right place in the DMs. And that's just leaving too much up to chance for me in my mind. You're going to push away potential clients that could be your breakthrough partner. I cannot tell you how many times I have talked to people who talked to other coaches and they were just so turned off. Has anybody in here experienced that? Like once the moment somebody finds out that you're a body coach, they're like, oh no, I don't want to be a part of that. Like that's almost cultish. So we want to avoid that, especially because they're going to be avoiding something so beautiful that can change their life if we're being that icky coach, right? You will continue to hustle so freaking hard that you're going to be too scared to take a break. I'm guilty of that. I have done that. And I was so scared to even just stop thinking about my business. I thought that it would all just go away because I worked so freaking hard just to like get to diamond, just to hit Success Club 10. And it doesn't have to be that way. We're going to change that with our energy. So with debrief coaching, I kind of mentioned all these. I really want to emphasize when you are doing debrief coaching. So to kind of simplify it, asking questions. So instead of going into the DMs and telling them all of the things that I can do for them, I'm asking them questions. I'm getting down to what they really need, what they really want. I'm offering a freemium and then asking so many questions. You're going to be able to get more people to respond. You're not going to get ghosted nearly as much. You're going to get people to say exactly what they want, why they want it. You're going to get people to say what they don't want and why they don't want that. I didn't realize when I was using my stories, I would talk about so often about how I loved that I was able to quit my job. I could do this full time, thinking that everybody in the world wanted to quit their job and everybody in the world wanted to coach. And I actually pushed away people and I actually made people think, oh, I can only do what she's doing if I quit my job. But as I got to know what people really wanted, I realized I was doing them a disservice. So my message went from, you can quit your full-time job to you can add to your income. And that changed a lot too for me. So that's one of those examples of like, hey, your strategy needs to change. And like your mindset is great, it's in the right place, but strategy needs to change there. So I've heard so many coaches get so mad or so frustrated. This person says no, this person says why they said no. They tell me they don't have enough time. I'm like, awesome. I love that they told you why they don't want that or why they can't do that. Now you're going to attack the crap out of that limiting belief and leave their heart exposed or get them out of their headspace and get them into their heart space. So I mentioned this before, your content is going to become the attack on those limiting beliefs. Once you have asked them enough questions, you're going to figure out what their values are. And it is so freaking easy to sell to somebody's values. It is so much more comfortable when you realize, okay, you know what this person really wants and values is human connection. Heck yeah. Like, I am in love with Body because, and I know I always will be, because the connections that I have made at Summit have changed my life. The connections I've made with Crush Nation, gosh, I'm going to start getting emotional and crying, changed my life and literally saved my life. With postpartum depression, I was in a really deep, dark, very lonely place, and this changed my situation. So it was so easy for Kim Fitzpatrick to come in and be like, oh, you're lonely? Come spend some time with me. Changed my life, right? That was an easy sell for her and for Jamie. Okay, here's the magic sauce that I'm going to leave you with as far as debrief coaching. And again, taking that from a transactional conversation to a transformative conversation, because your leads, the whole reason why we're doing this is to change lives, right? I hope so. I hope that you're in this because you want to change lives. Your life, your family's financial life, but also everybody that comes in your presence. I firmly believe and want everybody that comes in my presence to leave feeling amazing and empowered. And so even if they say no to you, we want a conversation to transform them in some kind of way. Maybe it's building trust with Body, maybe it's knowing that somebody's in their corner. But what I want you to say is when you ask them to join you, or you ask them whatever, and they say, now's not the time, now's not the busy, all you're going to say is, I'm so sorry you're going through that. I'm so sorry that this is happening for you. Can you tell me more about it? This question will transform your business. This question will get them talking. And the more questions you ask, and this is basically life coaching. So you can walk out and be like, okay, I'm doing some life coaching for some people today. Coaching them into, and once you get into their heart voice, you're going to get to a point where, you're too busy. You don't have money. What if I told you I had something that could actually help with your family's financial situation and save you time and create more energy? That's huge. Like, how do you say no to that? Right? Oh, you can make me more money. That would change my life. Oh, you can give me more energy. Even though I have a baby that keeps me up all night, give it to me, right? It has been so pivotal, knowing exactly what people want and exactly what people don't want. So can you tell me more about that? And I remember the first time I learned this and the first time I used it, I didn't know what to say next. So I kept saying, oh, can you tell me more? Can you tell me more? Can you tell me more? And then finally I knew their whole life story. But once I got to their values, man, it was a sell from there. Okay, debrief coaching. So you can walk away today and do some debriefing. As far as combining that with catalytic coaching, oh my gosh, your energy and your messaging, when it's combined, when it's there, it's not going to feel icky. It's not going to feel uncomfortable. Have you ever had a coach on your team ever been like, it just feels uncomfortable, it just feels icky? And at some point you're like, yeah, like it's gonna feel uncomfortable, it's new. But it gets to a point where it's so uncomfortable that they're not going to do it. And they can't, because it's not aligned with their values. So we figure out a way that is aligned with their values. And that's when you become that catalytic coach. And you get to a point where doing your power hours is actually exciting. And you get to a point where you can't wait to look at your phone. You can't wait to stop avoiding those things that you've avoided before, because you're excited to do it. And the results are just insane and it's aligned. So, oh, I needed to make this smaller. Maybe I just can't see it because the view is in the way. Okay, so this is the like bread and butter of life coaching. I'm going to kind of go into, is everybody good on time? I want to show, if you don't have time for this, no, we'll do it. We're good. We're good. Okay. In life coaching, we have this concept of head versus heart voice. Our head voice points to the past. It's fear, doubt, weakness, failure. So when you're experiencing those feelings, it's your head voice, shame especially, and it's rooted in scarcity. So the more time we spend in our head voice, we're manifesting that scarcity in our life and preventing ourselves we often have blocks that keep us in our head voice and prevent us from manifesting the life that we want. When we're in our heart voice, it points to the future. It's hope, it's faith, it's strength, purpose, potential, love, and is rooted in abundance. So the whole theory of life coaching, and one of the most important concepts, is that we manifest our life by the actions that we take. Our actions are created by the feelings that we are feeling, and our feelings are created by a story that we tell ourselves. So all of the stories that we tell ourselves are based off of past experiences, the way that we think, our mindset, one of the reasons why mindset is so important. But these stories are created from a fact that happens in our life. So I recently was in a session with a coach who is actually pushing for elite this year. And the fact that she was telling herself, that's the story. The fact was that she was pushing for elite. Okay. So a fact is something that doesn't change based off of opinion. It's like, it's science, it's math, it's not changing, right? So this person had never hit elite before. That's a fact. And this person was going for elite this year. Fact, right? So the story that she was telling herself was from her head. And that story that she was choosing to believe was, because I haven't hit elite in the past, I don't know if I could do it now. I can't do it now, actually. She was like, I can't hit elite. I haven't done it in the past. Obviously, that's head voice. It's rooted in scarcity. It is pointing to the past. So the story, I can't hit elite. So I was asking her, when you're in that place where you're thinking, I can't hit elite because I haven't done it in the past, what feelings does that create? And she's like, well, I feel frustrated because I've worked so freaking hard and I haven't ever done it. I'm like, okay, when you're frustrated, what actions do you take immediately after? She's like, well, I think about the fact that I should go do a power hour, but instead I turned on Game of Thrones. I was like, what was she watching? Game of Thrones. I'm like, okay, so when you want to hit elite, you haven't done it in the past. You tell yourself, or you believe the story that because you haven't done it before, you don't think you can do it. You feel frustrated, you buffer, you go watch TV. So you can see how those actions are actually manifesting your story. I can't hit elite, I've never done it. Those actions are going to be creating that. And so when she became aware of, holy crap, my feelings create actions, my actions manifest, I need to change the shit out of my story. We need to get in our heart voice. And one of the best ways that you can do this. So I do work with coaches one-on-one. I do work in group coaches, but I want people to walk away being able to coach themselves through, because if you can coach yourself, you can freaking coach anybody. Coaching yourself is the hardest. And I find myself even now, knowing what I know, thinking like, oh, I could just go through it on my head. No, I've got to write it down. I've got to do it in paper. I've even sometimes got to talk it out with a person, because your head voice is something that you usually limiting belief that you have believed for a really, really long time. So I tell my clients, okay, I want you to talk to yourself. Next time you have this thought or this story, or you're thinking about this fact, I want you to talk to yourself like you were talking to your daughter, or like you're talking to your coach, somebody that you deeply believe in. Or you can even go back. We've got kiddos in the background. Hang on just a second. Sorry. Yeah, go upstairs, bud. I was never here, he says. Think about your purpose. And this is, okay, take note of this if you never heard this before. I have coaches who come to me and they are terrified to talk on their stories. Have you guys ever been through that where like you were nervous to talk through your stories, or you have coaches that were nervous to talk on their stories? So I say, that's your head voice. And when you're in your head voice, oftentimes you're actually making it about you and you're judging yourself. But when you get into your purpose, like, hey, there's somebody whose life can change by this story. Oh, I'm going to get on my story and I'm going to talk, right? We had a client who lost so much weight that she was able to find a lump in her breast. So talking on my stories literally saved her life. So absolutely, like, that is a great way to get into your heart voice. So talk like you're talking to somebody you believe in, and talk to yourself like leading with that purpose and what you want to achieve in this life and for the community. And this is just like such a small snippet of coaching. Is there anybody who has a problem right now, or a struggle that you would like to get some of this coaching on? We can talk through it right now. I know it's like It might be nerve-wracking for me to put you on the spot, but and I'm not going to force anybody. But if there's somebody that wants to work through, I've done a little bit of this with Lisa. If anybody wants to jam, we can jam it out. I know it's nerve-wracking, especially on like a free webinar. You were like, I was not expecting to be put on spot. We do have an option to do some one-on-one coaching. I do offer free clarity session with body coaches, just because I want to give back to this community that has given me so much in my life. Okay. I'm going to let everybody. Oh, Donnell, you want to jam?
Sure, why not?
Yes. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it.
So, a little backstory on me. I actually coached many years ago, like probably 8 years ago. I've been doing this for about 8 years. So about, I don't know, however long. I've been coaching now again for a little over a year. So I was on a team, and I was sending over 200 invites a day. And I mean, it was the cold messaging, and it was like you said, the number game, and I mean,
Sorry, did you say 200 messages a day? Okay, 7 over 200. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, you're good. So, I mean, I got burnt out, and the team that I was on became very toxic, and it just, it wasn't healthy for me to stay there anymore. And so I took a break, but I knew in my heart, like, this is where I was supposed to be. And so it was just a matter of time before I had to get myself right and then come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm definitely not even close to where I would like to be. The last 6 months, I actually became very sick and have been hospitalized and everything. And so because of that, I don't remember a lot of like the hospital trips and stuff like that. I was in ICU. I don't remember a lot of that. So because of that, my business suffered. And so now I feel like I'm like starting over again. And I guess that's where my struggle is I'm just trying to find my momentum and get going again so I can be where I want to be and become an elite coach this year.
Right. Okay. First of all, I love that you were able to like pull out your heart voice for a second. We'll talk about that. Oh, I got chills when you said it. So when somebody says, I know in my heart, or I know, or, you said I knew, I'm like, oh, there's your heart voice. I love it. I love it. Okay. So the fact is that you, after a break and after getting out of a toxic team, oh, did I lose you? Oh, no, there we go. Okay. The fact is that you are working towards elite and you're not there, right? And you are not where you want to be. I will tell you something. You are only behind, and it's so easy for us to start comparing ourselves, because especially if we're like somebody that started the same time as me, she's like way above me. You are only behind when you compare yourself. That's the only time in life when you're behind, is when you're comparing yourself. You are exactly where you need to be to start creating the most freaking magnificent business and beautiful business of your life. So the fact is, you are working towards elite. Okay, opinion can't change that, right? You are working towards your elite, and you're not elite right now. Okay. So the story that we're choosing to believe, what's the story? What's the story? I heard a head voice story and a heart voice story. Let's attack that head voice for a second, right? So you've done it before as a coach. Things got toxic. Mm-hmm. You got sick. So what is the story that you're telling yourself about that? When I say, Donnell, you're going to hit elite this year, what's the story that you feel about that?
Scares the shit out of me.
It's scary.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a feeling. So the story
Yeah.
is,
So I guess fear of failure and
okay.
I would
So is there like
just say failure basically is really head story.
okay.
Just the fear of failure.
So oftentimes when people have like an extreme feel of failure, there are some feelings of doubt in your abilities, and there is some feelings of doubt in your, like, even sometimes worthiness, or am I enough to do this?
Yes.
So we're going to say your head voice is saying, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to think of the last time where you're like, I want elite so bad, but you were like, I don't know if I'm enough. Can you think of the last time where you were like, it really scared you and you kind of didn't feel aligned with it?
I would say probably right before I got sick. So
Right.
in like June probably.
Okay, so in that moment when you were like, I want to be elite, I don't know if I can do it, I'm scared of failing, what were some feelings that you experienced in that? So fear was one of them.
Mm-hmm. I doubted myself and my abilities. And I think just unsure, I guess, if I was good enough to be able to do it. Like it kind of like a comparison game, almost like, well, I can't have that, you know, I don't know that I deserve that, you know, kind of deal.
Yeah, so in that moment, you're feeling doubt, you're feeling fear. Do you feel it like frustration at all?
Yeah.
You feel frustrated? Especially, I find that it's such a common feeling because when you really, really, really want something, but then you're telling yourself or you're feeling like you're not enough, it feels frustrating, it feels defeating. So in that moment, when you're like, okay, I don't know if I could do this, I don't know if I'm enough, I feel frustrated, I feel doubt, what are some actions that you immediately take right after?
Like I've been really good about, especially since I become sick, because that changed my whole perspective on life. I have been able to shift my mindset fairly quickly and change it to something positive and to stay. I'm an optimistic person anyways.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to say, no, that's not true. Like you can do this, you know, but then you've got the voice in the back of your head that's like, no, you can't. And you're like, yes, I can.
Right.
You know, so sometimes I guess I would where when I'm sick, I mean, it was hard for me to take the actions that I knew I needed to take because I was in so much pain and stuff. But sometimes I would just, you know, even if it was listening to PD,
Yeah.
you know, just to me to push through and stuff. And then, you know, trying to be more intentional with my posting even.
Yeah. So this is something that is so common with body coaches. So most people walk around as emotional toddlers. And once you've started doing personal development, I'm sure that you've noticed like, oh my gosh, this person has some personal development that they need to do. And as body coaches, I often see that where you can kind of like start coaching yourself through that. So most of the time when we are in our head voice, we're doubting ourselves. We don't know if we're enough. We feel that fear, we feel that doubt. In that moment, we can coach ourselves out of it, but usually right in that moment, we do things like what I call buffering. So that's when all of a sudden you realize you need to do the laundry. That's when all of a sudden you realize that, I need to conserve my energy. So I'm going to take a shower, or I'm going to do personal development. Personal development is great to do, but it's often a huge disguise for us to keep us from actually doing something different, right? And we can justify it because I'm like, hey, I'm actually learning something from it. And it's great. Like, I love the crap out of Mel Robbins. I love her. And Jen Sincero, like, I'm a big fan of personal development as well. But we're not taking the actual actions that are going to move our business forward. So action, I'm going to say buffering. Do you think you experienced some buffering in that?
Oh, totally.
Okay. So here's the thing is last June, you said it was June, right? So last June we were like, I want to be elite, and I want it so freaking bad. At Elite, I know I've helped change lives. I know that I have changed my life. And then all of a sudden we're like, okay, but can I do it? Am I good enough to do it? Am I even worthy of it? Sometimes as women, that's like such a big thought of our heads is, am I worthy? You start to feel doubt, you start to feel frustrated, you don't know if you're enough. And then our actions are buffering. So when we're buffering, you can see that our actions are going to manifest, I'm not enough, because we're not doing enough, right? So with normal life coaching, they would leave it at that, and then you can just coach yourself through it, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do the push method. I want to get in your heart voice. Okay, so now it's just about to be 2023. You're going to hit elite, and your goal is elite. So we are going to be sitting on the floor together at Summit next year as elite coaches. What does your heart voice say? What's your story?
I can freaking do it.
Yes. Ooh, I have goosebumps. I can freaking do it. Not just I can do it, I can freaking do it.
Yep.
Right. And other coaches, if you're sitting here thinking like, what would my heart voice say? And you still go back to your head voice, like, I don't know if I could do it. I want you to talk like you're talking to somebody that you really believe in. Because I 100% believe everybody in this room can do it. But those limiting beliefs, we're attacking limiting beliefs that we've had for our entire lives, that society has instilled upon us. And we've only been coaches so you've been experiencing personal development for at least 8 years, right? So you've got like some time up on that on a lot of people. So that's why you were like, I loved hearing you get back into your heart voice on your own without even like me pushing you through that. But now, okay. The fact is that you are gunning for Elite 2023. Your heart voice says, I can freaking do it. What does that feel like in your body right now?
I have goosebumps and my heart's fluttering.
Yes, heart's fluttering, goosebumps. You feel excited.
Super excited.
Excited, fiery.
Proud.
I can see it in your face, proud. And it's just like, oh, it feels so good in my heart. I love seeing heart voice so much. And when you are feeling fiery and excited in your goosebumps, what actions do you take?
I try to set out a plan so I can follow that.
Yes, you set up a plan. Absolutely. And in that plan, you're doing the things that build your business. You're sending your invites, you're posting intentionally, you're messaging intentionally. You're not sending 200 invites, right? Because those 200 invites cannot be a full heart voice in that message that you're sending. And that's going to be so much more aligned. You're already doing the work to be a catalytic coach, right? And so you can see how you're manifesting. If you're coming at it with your energy, being excited, being fiery, you have a clear plan and strategy. Girl, you're manifesting the shit out of an elite 2023 coach.
Whoop, whoop.
And I have goosebumps just thinking about like sitting on the floor together, and it excites me. And this is why I am so passionate. Does it feel good?
Yes.
Good. Oh, that makes me so happy. And this excitement and this joy is something that I love. I just love to be around. These pieces saved my business, and it saved so many people. And when I'm working with people, it's easy when we're together to get excited and get your heart voice, right? So
Right.
as a coach, as a life coach, I will hold you accountable to what you said when you were excited. So that
Okay.
this isn't just happening in the moment, you're carrying this through you. So Donnell, it was such an honor to work through this heart voice. And I'm so like, we're all better because of it. And I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, of course. Okay, so that's the presentation. Are you guys okay? I do have a program. Are you guys okay if I talk about my program really quick, or do you want to, we're good? Okay. Okay, here it is. So you guys heard about why I was so passionate about it. And this little picture is my team at Summit, and it was just so fun. And I just love having that energy. So thank you for bringing like a little piece of Summit to this session with us. Okay, so my program. Woo. In my program, what you get is one-on-one bi-weekly coaching calls with me. So what we just did with Donnell, so that, am I saying your name right? Okay, perfect. One-on-one coaching like this, this is just a push method. So you get like a lot more than this. So we're going to do a one-on-one like goal setting clarity call. But in this group, this mastermind that's coming up, you actually get to see me every single week, because you get your one-on-one, and then we do a weekly hot seat where we're going to do group coaching. And I love doing the group coaching because you get to see other people experience the same thing, and it's so powerful and so validating. But also you get to hear people ask questions that you may not even realize that you had. Or maybe you're like, you've been coaching for so long that you don't realize that your coaches have those questions. So you can take and answer these questions and help your team work through. So everything that I teach in this, I actually want you to take to your team and help work them through it as well. So we eliminate roadblocks that you have. We get down to that limiting belief and chip away at it. We get crystal clear and figure out what you really want in those sessions and start hitting income levels and business aspirations that have eluded you in the past. We're getting the crap out of that head voice, that past. Doesn't matter if you haven't done it in the past, you're going to do it in the future if you really want to. Plus, you're going to have unlimited support through Marco Polo sessions. You can Marco Polo, you can text me. I like to have that during the week in between sessions. So if something comes up, or if you have a message going and you're like, okay, what do I say next? I asked this question and they answered it. What do I say next? I'm here for that continued support. So the first couple, how do I get out of this? Accountability. A high performance habit tracking system that will save you time and energy and make showing up for yourself feel effortless and guilt-free. Are there any mamas in here? Mamas, okay. So as a mom, one of the limiting beliefs that I fight the most, and even now I find myself having to coach myself through it, and I have my own life coach that helps me through it, is when I'm doing my business, I feel guilty. When I'm holding my baby, I feel guilty because I'm like, I need to be helping my family's financial situation. Well, this tracker, actually in the tracker, I'm like, did you spend one-on-one time with your family? Did you connect with your family? That is just as important as sending invites. And I've noticed that is what has created that catalytic coach. And so that accountability. And so you can do your business without feeling guilty because you know that your business is always also connecting with your family. That's kind of redundant. I apologize for this. A daily accountability system with a like-minded community. So you're going to have a community of coaches that have similar goals to you. A message pod. This is optional because I don't know about how your teams do this, but like my coach, Kim Fitzpatrick, I have like 10 chat pods. So I get overwhelmed. So I didn't want to force. This is just an option for people that want to do that. And then I mentioned the group bi-weekly calls. So you get to see me every single week and bring any questions and supports that you need with me. Okay. You're going to get my exact methods. I know that there's coaches that like hate scripts. For one, I love scripts because you can change them and meld them to however you want. And I am, again, that like MBA mindset. I need to have something that is proven. I'm done testing things out, right? So I need to have at least a system or some psychology that's proven to work. So we're going to get rid of that hey girl messaging. and actually start attracting so that we're not chasing people in the DMs. Self-paced modules that you can watch on your own time to build skills and stop going for no and start going for limiting beliefs and start going for heart voice and helping them get in there. Leads to, lead your client to the mindset that opens them to your program so that saying no doesn't feel right in their hearts. So that saying yes feels right. And we'll work how to get there. So basically, you're going to have courses talking about mindset and then talking about psychology and how to help people lead them to that place. A lot of that is helping them realize that they're worthy of investing time and money, because most people, especially if it's a mom, she's scared to invest any time and any money because she feels like all of her time and energy and money needs to go to her children. So we are going to attack the crap out of that limiting belief, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in that course. My exact blueprint to getting pumped. Okay, as coaches, I think for the most part, you have a great routine for that, taking care of yourself, but we're going to create that routine, an exciting routine in your business so that showing up is exciting. You're not getting analysis paralysis, and you're remembering that you can't say no anything wrong to the right person. My mindset tricks to get you out of your head space into your heart space so that you go from, I know what I need to do, I just can't get myself to do it, to I'm so freaking excited to do it. And that's that push method that you kind of saw Donnell go through, where it's like goosebumps, shivers everywhere. And with that, can you guys hear my kids on the piano upstairs? Okay, good. I was about to mute and yell at them. I'm so ready to get rid of that piano, but they love it. I can't do it. Mindset hacks to reject the all or nothing mentality. There's not supposed to be an M there. So you can champion your role as a leader of leaders. We're not leaders anymore. We are going for a lead. So we are leaders of leaders. And we're going to do that without feeling like we have to do everything. And we can actually check out of the business. So that all or nothing mentality is what holds a lot of coaches behind. Even like the best people, I've seen them be stuck because it's the all or nothing thing. So here's kind of a bird's eye view of what we're offering. We're going to get to the cost really quick. So with it says original price, my one-on-one packages to work with me for 4 months and get me bi-weekly is $5,000. But I decided that I wanted to do a mastermind course and group coaching quarterly. So this is actually, we're not going to be doing it for $5,000. We are going to be doing it for $2,500. So you get 4 months of this for $2,500. And this is under the Empire Rewire. So the first 5 people that jump in, you're going to actually get it for $2,000. You're going to get a free call for your team, or you can choose to have that call for you, an extra call for you. You can choose to have it for somebody on your team if you want me to help train your person on your team or help them through a push method. I've had a lot of fun doing team calls. It's been really, really cool to do these hot seat and like everybody watching Donnell go through that heart space. I saw DMs and everybody felt it. That's so powerful. And that's something that you could take with you to your team. And then I do offer payment plans too. So you could do 4 months for $500, or I offer a special discount if you pay $1,800 up front. You get that discount of, instead of $2,000, $1,800. I am offering with this group a guarantee option. So if you fill out 90% of your tracker, so I'm holding you accountable, holding yourself accountable. If you fill out 90% of your tracker, I will work with you until you have made back your investment one-on-one. And so you're going to get that $5,000 one-on-one package from me, and we're going to make that money back. Like, we're going to go hard together. Or you have an option to do Q2 mastermind at 0 cost. If that makes sense. If you haven't made your money back or your investment back. Okay. And then for today, I wanted to also offer, I know it's so scary to spend money. And it feels like, it's just so anxiety driven, right? I wanted to offer the $1,800 that I said, if you pay up front, you get that discount. I wanted to offer that today only with payment options. So we have those options. And then after January 1st, it's going to go back up to 2,500. So I want to give you guys some time. I want to give you some time to think about it. For that tonight only. There's something else I wanted to mention. Maybe I just keep going. Oh, Brad Bizjack, I worked with him, and my very first course, I was so scared to do it. But he said, when you refuse the money from on investing in you, you also refuse the money that comes from investing in you. So I want you to think about, as I leave you with this and leave you with the scary costs. And it's funny because I grew up with these limiting beliefs that my dad was raised in the Great Depression, or his parents were raised in the Great Depression. So we grew up this limited belief that money was hard to come by and you had to work your ass off just to get by. So even me now, I'm fighting this belief that I'm scared to be like, hey guys, this is what it costs, but it's worth it. And I have to remind myself sometimes that other people are willing to understand value versus cost. So I want you to, again, think about how long it has taken for you to reach your next goal. And then what is it going to be worth for you to expedite that and not take this time? So for me, it was worth $5,000 to not have to wait another 3 years to hit elite and 10x my income and 10x my business. Does anybody have any questions before we get to the drawing? Okay, here's my little drum roll. I have extra slides in here. Okay. I wanted to get, does anybody want to like tag some people really quick and get some extra entries? I need to stop screen share. I like this view so much better because then I can see everybody's, like, I can actually see your faces. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. Dang it. Can you see my screen or can you just see okay, cool. I want to get into I had my tab open. Name generator. Okay, yes. I'm going to add everybody's names. Okay, so this one is for the $50 gift card. Courtney. Okay. Here we go. And it is Lily. Lily just won a $50 gift card. Oh my gosh, this is my first time. Good job, Lily. This is, oh, we got a little one there. Hello. So this is the first time I've like seen my face and my eyes are really red, guys. I just got my eyelashes filled, so I didn't realize. I swear I'm not on drugs. Okay. So the next drawing is for a one-on-one, like not just a 45-minute consult that I give away for free. This is like a full one-on-one session to get their little ears around. I'm sorry. Donnell is the winner. You get a full freaking life coaching session and you can cash up on that whenever you want. Oh my gosh, you guys, it has been such an honor. I'm getting emotional, right? Like I'm a big emotional energy person. So it has been an honor being here with everybody. I love you guys so much. I'm here if you have any questions. Like before I let you go, does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to add? We're good. Oh, Courtney.
Me.
Oh,
You
Lily.
remember how we met?
Was it on social media?
Team Cup.
Team Cup. Oh my gosh, that's right. Team
That's
Cup.
how we got in contact on social media because of Team Cup.
I remember that. Oh my gosh, we were baby coaches. How awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. That's freaking dope. Oh, I love it.
Lisa was on our team too, remember?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, I'm gonna just start crying like a crazy person and cry off all my new eyelashes.
Don't do that because
Don't-
I start crying when people cry. So let's not do that.
Okay, we're not gonna cry. We're gonna be adults and not cry off our eyelashes. These were too expensive to cry them off. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you so freaking much. First 5 people get that big discount. If you want to work together, you have any concerns, hit me up. I should leave does everybody have my phone number? Let me put it on here and you guys can write it down just in case. I think I texted everybody. There's my phone number, 801-654-2603. Send me a text. Let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if you are in, if you have people on your team that would want to be in on this. For everybody watching the recording, I love you so freaking much. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this and to be here tonight or whenever you're here. I'm so glad that this hit home. I could talk forever, so I just gotta let you guys go. Love you guys. Bye.